Shalom, shalom. You're here with your brew. It's your brew, Ban Shemaya, here with another one. Thank y'all for tuning in. So today we're going into this video, another one by Moxie Approved. This video should be dropping Thursday morning. It says, Tariq Nasheed classes with guy who opposes reparations. Foundational white Americans built this, right? So Tariq Nasheed, if you don't know, I believe that's the guy who made the From Hebrews to Negroes documentaries and books. I've seen one or two of them because when you're in the truth, you know, it's so much madness and evil around you just searching for something to watch. So you tend to watch other brothers in the truth. That's why I don't like to just debate or try to slash up everybody, because sometimes I just want to listen. Sometimes I just want to listen and hear what people got to say and hear the evidence they bring in. And I would rather listen to that than listen to other foolishness that's going to be on the television or on the YouTube or on the Facebook. You know, you turn on your Facebook and 3 hours, 3 hours disappear. So I would much rather listen to brothers talk about the word for 3 hours. So I do watch a lot of the brothers. Anyways, it was a good documentary and it was filled with a lot of information. And without further ado, because I don't want this to last too long, let's get into this and hear what this about.
Y'all, welcome back to Moxie Approved. One of my favorite debaters online, Tariq Nasheed. He does it again. Y'all know I like sharing these classic clips. He does it again, this time with a white guy who's pretty much against reparations in a strong way, though. In a strong way. He has some interesting quotes that he used. So before we get to this clip, please do me one small.
He said in a strong way. He said in a strong way. In a strong way. Like, really, like, that dude is a hater. Let's get it.
Small favor, hit that like button. And if you haven't yet, apply pressure to that subscribe button. Apply pressure to that subscribe button. Run the tape.
Jeff, hop on if you want to get in early. You made an early request. What's up, Jeff?
How you doing? I just want to know, why do you call yourself FBA?
Because we are foundational Black Americans. We are a very distinct lineage group. So it's a lineage-based designation. That makes sense?
Yeah, but Black people didn't lay the foundation of America.
Who did?
White people.
But why did white people, particularly the white supremacists, fail when they tried to do it on their own every single time? Why is that?
Well, they didn't. You guys cherry pick history.
How so?
But you're talking about the starving times, which was one winter, right?
No.
And it ended by other white settlers.
No, sir.
Yes.
It was more than the.
There's a man named John Rolfe.
Sir. It was more
that had
than
the first tobacco.
Sir, let's slow it down. All right, we got to slow bake this. If you're going to come in here lying, we got to take one lie at a time. Okay. The starving time in Virginia, that was really the last time. And then after that, Black people were introduced to the colonies, and that's when they stopped starving. Okay. But even before the starving time in Virginia, they were starving before. Roanoke. Okay. They all got killed off in Roanoke. St. Augustine, they got killed off and starved off in St. Augustine, Florida. San Miguel del Guadalupe, the Black people who they brought over ran them out of there. That was in 1526, sir. So if we're going to go into history, we got to be truthful. You understand that?
Well, you're not being truthful, because the starving times was 1609 to 1610. The first slaves in that colony of Virginia didn't get there to 1619. So it already ended by other white colonists. And his name, you can look him up, is John Rolfe, who saved that colony and had the first tobacco export. So you're just cherry picking history.
You
did not.
In 1619, whereas I think in 1620, when they did a census, there was already a black population there. They were already documenting black people there before the arrival of the black so-called slaves who were brought in by that Dutch ship. There were already black people there, sir. All right. And there were already black people in the Americas. That was very well documented before 1619. Do you understand?
You see how they don't like to talk about how black people was here. Like we were here with the natives. Even during slavery. Not just as slaves. Let's keep going.
Understand that?
Okay, if you built this country, why couldn't you build up Africa? Why can't you build up your community? Let me guess, the white man, right? The white man.
I'm sorry. This is like, look, I heard this argument so much. In reality, he want to say that he's a racist. He's like, look, I just want to say I hate y'all so bad, but why can't you create nothing on your own? We should go down history and show how they destroyed everything we created from 1920s Tulsa to Malcolm X's movement, Martin Luther King's movement, to 1986 movement when they dropped bombs on them in Philadelphia a year after I was born. Let's keep going.
Nobody in my family has lived in Africa for half a millennia, dude. I don't know what's happening over there. I'm a foundational Black American. I can tell you what foundational Black Americans built. We built this country, sir. We built this country from scratch. And the white supremacists, when they tried to do it on their own, they failed over and over again. Multiple times. They could not get it popping on their own, sir. Is that true or not true?
That is false because you're cherry picking history.
Cherry picking history, sir. When were they successful without black people's input?
Okay. I already told you the first tobacco export before any slave was in that colony.
Are you guys selling meth over there? What's going on? I hear some stuff in the background. Are you okay?
It's Christmas Eve.
He said, is it a guy selling meth over there? I hear something in the background. Oh my goodness. This dude's like, it's Christmas. He's like, we're pagans. I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
Party, but
okay.
Anyways,
so yeah, they weren't. Again, they didn't get anything popping until after 16.
We're having a little party, but
Anyways, so yeah, they're having a little party.
Meth over there. What's going on? I hear some stuff in the background. Are you okay?
Already told you the first tobacco export before any slave was in that colony.
Are you guys selling meth over there? What's going on? I hear some stuff in the background. Are you okay?
It's Christmas Eve. We're having a little party, but anyways,
so yeah, they weren't. Again, they didn't get anything popping until after 1619. Just because they stopped starving doesn't mean that they got things popping. They just stopped starving in 1610. Okay, they didn't get any type of progressive economy. And
they were exporting tobacco. You can look the history up,
sir.
And there was a fur trade between the French. Like, you just cherry picking history.
Anything. They didn't become.
If you built this country,
become successful until black people were introduced, and the people doing all the cultivating of the tobacco were black people. The white people weren't doing it. Europeans, they didn't come from an agrarian culture. So what are you talking about, sir? What are you talking about?
Oh.
All right. First of all, most people didn't own slaves. Most of the work was done by skilled white.
Oh, he tried to jump over that because that's true. Europeans were starving in Europe before they ever found the quote-unquote New World. They were starving in Europe. So that's true. They didn't know how to feed themselves or aggregate themselves. All the food, they were killing all the fish and everything out of the water. They were starting to starve in Europe. So that's a pretty big one.
Let's stop. Let's slow it down. We got to take one lie at a time. Your culture, European culture, you weren't an agrarian culture. You guys didn't know how to cultivate crops like that because you weren't doing it in Europe. So what are you talking about?
The proof is in the pudding today.
Right.
You can't build one civilization today.
Stop it. If you could cultivate crops so well, why didn't you do it in Europe?
He a runner. He a track star. He a runner. He a track star. I'm so not hip. I don't. I've never even heard that song. If it is a song, but I heard that line. And this Edomite is a runner and a track star.
We
No,
already
you
did.
didn't.
You can't
No,
even
you
do it in
didn't. No, you
Africa. They're
didn't. No,
starving at
you
the highest
didn't.
rate.
No, you didn't. You didn't know how to cultivate crops in Europe because really because of the soil there doesn't even support certain crops. You understand? There's too much sulfur in the soil out there in Europe. That's why a lot of you white supremacists, when you get wet, you smell a little funny. Not all of you, but just the white supremacists. But go ahead. Go ahead.
The proof is in the pudding today. If you built this country, you should be able to build up your community. And don't tell me about the white man won't let us do it. Oh, they'll destroy it. Why can't you build up your community?
We can
Why
because
can't you? Everywhere around the world you live is a shit.
we're under a system of global white supremacy. You white supremacists sabotage us every time we build our communities, and we built our communities repeatedly here in North America. I'm talking about us in particular. Every time we build it, every time we build our prosperous communities, without any exception, your community destroys it and tears it down. Is that true or not true?
That's false.
Name a community that we built that was prosperous that you guys didn't destroy and undermine. Name one.
You don't even have a community because everything around you is invented by white people.
Stop it. We had Wilmington, North Carolina, prosperous black area. Tulsa, Oklahoma, prosperous area. Rosewood, Florida, prosperous black area. Hastings Street, Michigan, Detroit, prosperous area. We had prosperous black areas all over the country. Central Avenue out here in Los Angeles, prosperous black area. And they did everything they could to undermine these areas by building freeways, railroads, redesigning the city. They've done this stuff over and over again, sir. This is very well documented. So you're saying that ain't true?
Well, look, Europe had 2 world wars, and they were able to rebuild.
Because
if you look at the most developed countries, they're in Europe.
There was a Marshall Plan. The West.
So why don't you come up with a plan if you're so creative and innovative?
That's what we're doing now. That's why we're trying to get reparations so we can get our form of a Marshall Plan like the Europeans did. They had millions and millions of dollars poured into Europe to rebuild Europe. Okay? Don't sit up and make it seem like they just did it from scratch. The Western powers gave them money to rebuild Europe. There was a Marshall Plan. We've never had a Marshall Plan, ever. We've always had to rebuild from scratch, and some of us are very successful despite of the sabotage. So is that why you're salty? Because we can do it without a Marshall
Okay, you just contradict yourself. You contradicted yourself. You said some of us are successful, so why aren't they? How are they being successful? White supremacy. It doesn't make any sense.
We're successful despite of white supremacy in many cases.
Then there's no white supremacy. If you could be successful.
Yes, it is white supremacy. We're just so talented. We have so much talent and we're so thorough. We can still rise within the system. Some of us can. Unfortunately, many of us cannot, and that's why we're trying to get this reparations going, sir. That just speaks to our greatness.
You can't manage money. The NBA, most people in the NBA go broke. The NFL go broke. You don't need reparations. You need to get off your ass.
Well, how come you didn't get off your ass?
He said you don't need to get reparations. You need to get off your ass. Where is this dude? Hey, y'all. When food get low, this gonna be the dude that pop out on them suicide missions, man. Watch out for him, man, because people like him got so much hatred in their hearts. So much hatred. Lack all source of responsibility. I bet you this dude has been so cruel to people within his life, and he probably has never made amends for it. Cause he don't want to. He's filled with hatred. Let's keep going.
Your ass and build Europe. How come you fled and came here?
We did build Europe.
No, you didn't.
What are you talking about? There's not one African country more developed than a
I don't,
European country?
sir.
Even the worst
I
of the
don't live
worst.
in Africa. I'm talking about. I'm a foundational Black American, and this is the most progressive country in the world that my family built.
We came here to expand our global
Right.
empire, and it
And
worked
I
out for
hear,
us.
sir,
We
slow
actually built
down.
something here.
And I hear,
But
do I hear a Latino accent with you, sir? Where are you from? Where's your family from? And let's be honest, where's your family from? Because I kind of
doesn't
see y'all,
matter.
and that's another thing.
You want to
And no,
deflect and
no,
not
no, no.
debate
And you got,
someone.
and no,
Well,
and
where are you?
notice how ashamed you are of your European heritage. You see? Notice how ashamed you are of your European heritage, sir. You never want to admit what slum of Europe you came from. You dig? Or what slum from South America you came from. You don't even sound like an Anglo. I hear an
What?
accent here, sir.
The continent with the most slums and poverty is
But
Africa. You can even
talk.
build
I
Africa.
haven't lived in Africa, and nobody in my family has lived in Africa,
But
sir.
yet you claim all these ancient African
Yes,
civilizations on
thousands
your
of years ago.
documentary.
Yes, thousands of years ago, my people were there, but we haven't
But
been there.
you're
Well,
not African. So why would you?
My family has not been there for centuries, so that don't count. All the great empires, when my people were there, it was a different thing. I don't know what's happening over there now. It has nothing to do with me now. I'm a foundational Black American, and I built the country that you fled to, sir. So what's going on with that?
You didn't create the government. You didn't create the
We
majority of
created the
employment. You
wealth.
did not build
We
this country.
created the wealth. The wealth was created from our labor and us sustaining our integrity by being subjugated and exploited. And we sacrificed and we built the nation and the wealth of this nation off of our backs, sir. So why are you so ungrateful to foundational Black America? You should be thanking us.
If that's true, go build the wealth in your community and stop blaming.
We're in a global community of white supremacy. That's the problem. We're militarized. We're militarily subjugated right now. So when we do build our communities, it gets undermined. So we have to take care of the white supremacy problem and replace that with the system of justice, right?
Are there successful Black communities in America? Can you find pockets of Black success?
We can find pockets of it, but unfortunately.
So why aren't those pockets getting destroyed?
Well, the thing is, because they're just pockets. When it gets more than just a pocket, that's when the undermining happens, sir. And that's the problem. We get anti-Black racists such as yourself who come from slums of Europe and South America who couldn't build their communities back home, and then you come over here and try to pull some kind of rank.
The most developed countries.
You didn't develop your homeland.
Or in Europe.
You're the one.
Look at the statistics.
You fled, sir. You fled your homeland. Your family fled because they failed. You can't point your finger at foundational Black Americans and say nothing. You fled. We didn't.
No, we came here to expand our global empire.
No empire. You fled, sir.
We had to get permission to.
So he's taking credit for the conquering of the natives. This was them expanding their global empire, was conquering natives and putting Black people into slavery. This dude is so filled with hate, and he sounds like he ate, man. He's like, you do it. Let's keep
fled. You fled.
To establish the colony. You don't even know history.
You're not English, sir. Stop talking about a colony. You're not English. I can hear you. You don't even have an Anglo accent. I can hear it in your voice. I hear Goya powder.
You don't know anything about
I hear Goya powder, sir. You don't sound Anglo whatsoever, and you have nothing to do with the Virginia colonies at all. Okay, let's stop that. You have nothing to do with that. You came from some.
Most people did not own
from some slum in Europe or South America somewhere, okay? And you're ashamed to admit what slum your family came from. That's why you're trying to project on foundational Black Americans. We didn't flee, sir. You did.
You didn't
No,
flee?
We didn't. We didn't flee nothing. We built it.
There's more Africans that migrated here than that were taken in slavery. You can look that up.
What are you talking about?
What?
You fled from Africa even after we enslaved you. You say, I want to go to the white man's country.
What the hell are you? You're just saying anything, sir. Now you're trolling. You're just trolling and babbling now, sir. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
There are more Africans that migrated to America than were taken in slavery. Well, you sold each other out.
Stop it. Look,
You can look the
Stop
stats up.
it. African people started migrating in large numbers after the 1960s. That doesn't have anything to do with my lineage. That has nothing to do with my lineage, sir. I'm from a distinct lineage of the people who are the foundation of this country, who built it from the ground up and gave you a lane to flee to, sir. So why
But that's not true.
and
You think black slaves were the only people to do labor?
For free, yes. For
That's
free,
false.
yes. And not get compensated.
Doesn't matter if it was paid or it's still a form of labor.
No. We're to do it for
Indentured
free. To
servants.
do it for free, yes. Us.
Do you know the story of Bacon's Rebellion?
I know about Bacon's Rebellion.
There were Irish and blacks in the same field.
And the Irish got paid and the black folks didn't. And that's why we're trying to get our reparations. See how that works?
You didn't deserve to get paid because you sold each other into slave. You sold your labor.
Stop! No. How did the Europeans who were indentured servants? Why did they deserve to get?
We didn't deserve to get. Oh my! We didn't deserve to get paid because we were taken captive. We were taken captive. What about the European niggas? Oh, I can't believe I said the N word. I was working on that. I messed up. What about the European Edomites who came over here? Who came over here as prisoners to serve time in America? What about them?
Get paid. Many of them were prisoners that were sent over by the English aristocrats to work off a debt. So they were sold off by the white English. So why did they deserve to get paid and we didn't?
Because they have a higher average IQ and they bring more value.
Okay, so
now he's showing
we just naturally have a lower IQ.
Well, that's what the studies show. There's multiple studies.
So the white English. So why did they deserve to get paid and we?
So now he's about to show his true color. He been showing it the whole video. He just this is the argument of racism. This is what racism looks like. The cowards. Some people is just flat out. They'll let you know, like, look, I don't like black people. I don't like none of y'all. I respect them more than this coward. This coward probably is one of them dudes who's gonna be like, look, I got a black friend. His black friend don't have no pride about culture or heritage or anything about being him. He wished to be white. So they'll use that one black friend that wishes to be white to say, I'm not racist, I got a black friend. Like, bruh, if you could only have a spirit to hear yourself, man, you are a hateful, racist white boy, man.
He didn't.
Because they have a higher average IQ and they bring more value.
Okay, so we just naturally have a lower IQ.
Well, that's what the studies show. There's multiple studies.
So
the studies also show you more athletic.
So now let's check.
And Asians even have a higher average IQ than white. It's not white supremacy. So it shows Asians have a higher IQ than whites.
So the Asians and whites are just smarter, and we just have lower IQs. So we are just genetically inferior as far as IQs, right? Okay.
Yes.
So why are you complaining about a group of people who don't know no better? Okay, that means we don't know any better, so we need to be taken care of. So
when you demand reparations,
why antagonize a group of people who don't know any better? That means we're handicapped. So you're supposed to take care of the handicap. So give us our money. Give us double reparations then, because we're too handicapped to make it on our own. Okay?
He said, "Fill the cup double."
You fought to be part of my system.
We're handicapped, as you just proved. You just said we have lower IQ.
You hear what he said? You fought to be in part of my system. It's mine. It belongs to me. It don't belong to y'all. You hear that? Man.
So we don't know any better. So you need to roll the red carpet out for us. You need to give us a special tag. Remember, handicapped people, they get to park in the front of the store. You get special privileges to go on planes. You get special privileges to travel because you are not as able-bodied as the high IQ people such as yourself. So why are you antagonizing a group of people who are basically handicapped, as you say, right?
Look, there's multiple studies showing even when blacks start out at the same income level, they're more likely to end up in
That's
poverty.
fine. Then give us the money. We need to be taken care of by the government. We shouldn't be mistreated, even though you say
You're living off the government already, dude.
No. If we're handicapped, you don't mistreat us, no matter what our IQ is. You're talking about mistreating a group of people who you say.
He just said you're living off the government already. More white people are getting government assistance than black people. That is a fact by far. This is like he literally showing his ignorance. And Tariq is a millionaire. He's talking to a millionaire saying you're living off of government assistance already. Man.
A handicap. So if we're handicapped and our IQs are just lower, we need double the money. We need to be taken care of because we can't cut it on our own, sir. So you're giving a great argument for reparations. We need double reparations because we can't cut it.
Black people owe white people reparations.
No.
Our
IQs are too.
He just said black people owe white people reparations. Look, hey, bro, you cannot make this up, Bruce. Hey, you cannot make this up. This guy is like a anime character, bro. You cannot make this up. This is not, he said black people owe white people reparations. We should pay them for building the country. We should pay them for being a labor force. We should pay them for bringing all the owners in the NBA are white. All the entertainment is black. all the owners of the record labels and stuff, and all of that type of industry, white. All the entertainers black. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Let's keep going.
Low. What are you talking about? How does a low IQ group of people owe the high IQ group of people some money? And you've exploited us for our labor.
Because you have a better life here than any African country because of white people.
I don't live in Africa. Nobody in my
Most
family.
of you work for white.
That is a lie. First off, I wish I could have talked to this white guy because I would have told him that's a lie and I would have showed him proof. Stop saying that. The countries in Africa, like Namibia and Sierra Leone, are richer than America. Facts. Facts. Sierra Leone has the blood diamonds. Remember, Namibia has gold and multiple other resources. But they have European companies going over there deciding what price to charge that that the people who are native to those lands should be able to sell there as goods. I watched a dude in Namibia digging for gold. I watched him digging for gold, going and grabbing gold. Him and his family, they had a little thing right outside their house. These dudes grab all this gold, take it to another African though. It is another African, but he going to sell it to white people for sure. But he take it to the local market with another black person, and the black dude give him a couple euros. A couple euros. I think he got like 3 or 5 euros, which is like a big deal to him. 3 or 5 euros. And then that dude probably took that gold and went and sold that gold for multiple big monies. Like hundreds of dollars maybe. Or not. Maybe he did. Maybe he took it and sold it for $20, and then they bought it for 20 and sold it for 3,000 or 10,000. Lord knows how much they sold that gold for. I watched the same thing with charcoal wood. Brother was making all natural charcoal, selling it to another brother. The brother paid him 2 euros for a big bag of charcoal. I mean, the bag was as big as this man's body. He could have fit like the bags you buy at Walmart. You could have bought probably like, it would have been like the big bags too. The big bags you buy at Walmart. It would have been like maybe 6 or 7 of those big bags. and he sold that for $3, €3. Let's keep going. The ones who get ripped off in Africa get ripped off by the Europeans. In the successful places in Africa, they have successful places. Why is he talking like they don't? Africa is a beautiful place with tons of success. Africa is a continent, not a country. It is a continent. There's many countries in Africa that has a great amount of success in it. Talking about the slums. Like, we got slums in America. Boy. There's people in America who don't have water and who don't have electricity. Come on, man.
Companies.
Okay, nobody in my
you don't
family lives in
provide
Africa.
anything for
Also about that IQ. If the IQs were already low, why did y'all make it illegal for us to read? If our IQs were so low, why were you so hell bent on not having us educated and us getting hold of books? What was that about? If our IQs were so low, as you said,
a lot of that's just myths. It's not. I mean, if you really look
said
into
that's
it,
a myth.
this was on law
that
books,
was
so the laws were lying. What are you talking about?
Right.
You were able to read. Most.
No, we're
we
not.
taught
No, we
you how
weren't.
to
We were
read.
getting killed.
Said
How are
we
you speaking
taught you
English?
how to
This is
read.
not a African language.
No, you didn't have to read it.
We taught you this language. We taught you
A baby
everything
could
about life.
speak English, and a baby can't read. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
A baby can speak English, sir, and a baby doesn't read books.
Foundational white Americans built
you're
this
babbling.
country. You're just lucky to be here.
You're babbling, sir. You're babbling.
Man, another classic one. Yo, did you hear when the white guy said foundational white Americans? I mean, we can't start up nothing.
Oh man, that was a good video, Moxie. Oh, that was a dope video. Hey, he handled that very good, man. Cause look, I would have tore into him. I would have been. I'm pretty sure he could have went into way more history. Excuse my yarning. He could have went into way more history and way more facts, but he didn't. He actually he kept saying, "Yes." So what do you think about that, sir? Oh man, he that was a good one, man. He handled that very professionally. And they always say that we filled with hate. Once we know the truth about ourselves, we filled with hate and evilness. And I think the white guy was the one filled with hate, and he was being talked to very responsibly, very respectfully. See, the difference is if you talk to a black person that does have hate in them, the way you were talking to Mr. Tariq Nasheed, I'm pretty sure he'd beat you up. I'm pretty sure. Cause look, the 1960s ain't in it. We're not in the 1960s. We're not in the 1940s. We're not in the 1920s. We in the 2020s. You know, where it's like I wish your brother would times 5 in the 2020s. Like people be wishing, like look. They got whole videos of just people beating up Karens. Like they finally got what they want. They finally got what was coming to them. But this guy is filled with so much hatred, and it's sad. So you know what, man? I'm gonna ask everybody in that's watching this, pray for him, man. Pray for our enemies. He need help. Let me tell you, cause look, this dude look like he living a miserable life just to die and suffer after death. So let's pray for this dude. Hopefully he'll repent of his ignorance and maybe have a place to rest. Maybe he'll even survive the things that's coming because he repented from his foolishness. Shagaga, right? Ain't that ignorance in Hebrew? Shagaga. He be on that Shagaga. All right, y'all. I'm gonna call it a video on that tip, man. Shalom. Peaceful greetings. The water for watching this videotape, and I hope y'all got as much laughter and enjoyment out of this hateful person that I did. And Barakatah, bless you all. Bless all of y'all. Bless you. Now, thank you for tuning in again. Call out Higher by Shimmy Shire. And I just want to thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all liked the video, or if you didn't, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hop in the comments. Let's talk. Let's talk about this dude with Saudi, and he said a lot. So I can't wait to rewatch this so I can re-get everything he was saying. Cause he said a lot. He said you shouldn't be. White men shouldn't have to pay you reparations. Y'all should have to pay us. Cause you notice they only do this to us. At one point in time, Germany was the most powerful country in the world before, like even during World War II. So, like, should the Jews had to pay Germany for reparations? Man, their logic is crazy. On that note, I just want to say peace. Thank you. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to the video, and I'll catch y'all on the next time. Shalom.